Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Sinead Aherne. Today's top stories. Health officials are contacting staff and patients at University Hospital Waterford after a patient tested positive for coronavirus. Scoping discussions are taking place between Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil on forming a new government. 2 people were arrested for driving under the influence of drugs in Waterford yesterday. And in sport, the champion chase is a feature on day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. Staff members and patients who've been in contact with a confirmed case of COVID-19 at University Hospital Waterford are being contacted by health officials today. The man had been an inpatient in Medical 7 ward and a decision was taken on Monday to test him. He was then transferred to an isolation room in the Pine ward in the New Dunmore wing. Hospital manager Grace Rothwell told staff that line managers have contacted all staff identified as working in the relevant clinical areas and have shared specific advice. Kieran's a patient in Medical 7. He spoke to Damien Tiernan on Daisha today and explained how he found out.
It was actually one of my friends, the woman I used to work with. She sent me a link on Facebook to Waterford News and Star, and it said Medical 7. She was like, your ward. And I was like, all right, well, we weren't told about it by any nurses or anything, so that's how I found out, kind of. He could have been in my cubicle, he could have been in another one. I honestly have no idea, Damien.
He says he is worried.
Originally, I was like, right, you know, the age-old thing, don't believe everything you see on the internet. And then it was like, I woke up and all the nurses were suddenly wearing face masks and gloves and the aprons, and I was like, right, okay, so it might be a bit more. Worried would be a statement, I'd say.
Employers are being asked to continue to pay employees as normal if they have symptoms of the coronavirus or have to self-isolate and can't go to work. The government says it's essential to limit the spread of the virus, as Casey O'Riordan reports.
The government, alongside trade union and employer representative bodies, are urging all employers to support efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19 by continuing to pay staff who cannot go to work due to the illness or who have been certified to self-isolate. They're being asked to pay the difference between the special illness benefit rate and their employees' normal wages. Finance Minister Paschal Donohoe says he accepts that there will be some companies who can't afford to do this.
We recognise that for some employers this may well be a challenge, and we're therefore calling that employers do all they can to ensure that if somebody is in a position where they can't come to work, that employers do all they can to allow them to work through that while they're also on normal pay.
The government says continuing to pay employees will slow down the spread of the virus as people won't take risks to secure their income. On Monday, a €2.4 billion package of reforms around sick pay and illness benefit were agreed in response to the outbreak. The measures mean the rate of sick pay will rise and the benefit will be paid to those impacted by the outbreak from the first day they're absent from work.
A Waterford pharmacist says people need to make a conscious effort to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Kate Mulligan of Mulligan's Pharmacies says they're asking people to sanitise their hands when they enter their stores.
We and all of our staff would be at a higher risk than others in the community. So we have hand sanitising gel inside our doors, and we're requesting that everybody sanitise their hands when they come into store. There will be as little handling of things between customer and staff as possible, and that will probably be something that's out there in the greater community in every business anyway.
A South East Jobs Fair Back for the Future, which is due to take place in the Tower Hotel in Waterford City this weekend, has been cancelled. Organisers said that despite only one cancellation and high registrations, it would be reckless to risk 43 companies, staff and the public. They're hoping to run the event in early summer. The Church of Ireland in Waterford has introduced measures to deal with the threat of coronavirus. Their youth group, toddler group and Sunday school have been cancelled, while confirmation preparations now taking place online. They're asking people if they have a temperature or any concerns to stay away from any service. Dean Maria Jansen told Damien Tiernan on Daisha today that she would cancel all services if she had the power to do so.
I have a huge duty of care to the people with whom I live and serve. They matter immensely to me. I don't want them in any way compromised. At the same time, I must, with my team, make sure they know they're not cut loose from a community. So we have to be really smart and imaginative and do different ways. I do not think people's faith is dependent on church or church attendance. I've never held that view. No.
The Deputy Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil leaders are holding scoping discussions in an effort to start forming a new government. Simon Coveney and Dara Cleary are exploring what policies the parties agree and disagree on before formal talks begin next week. The Green Party is likely to outline its position on government involvement later, after Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin all said they want to keep talking to them. Members of Fine Gael's negotiating team, Finance Minister Paschal Donohoe, won't be drawn on what his priorities for the talks are.
At the best of times, this would be a very demanding political exercise, but we are truly in extraordinary times that will influence the discussions that we will have in terms of what priorities I might be raising with them. From my experience of these discussions, I know it is not helpful if they hear about my priorities through your good selves.
10 multi-agency checkpoints, which included Gardaí, Customs, Department of Social Protection and the Road Safety Authority, were conducted in Waterford yesterday. It was part of Operation Storm. WLR's Liz Reddy reports.
3 premises were searched under warrant, which resulted in a number of drug seizures, including a detection for the sale and supply of drugs. There were 2 arrests for driving under the influence of drugs, 5 customs detections for use of green diesel. Officers from the Department of Social Protection carried out 36 interviews with a number of cases requiring follow-up investigation. 4 cars were seized for no insurance or tax offences. There were 5 searches of people and vehicles under the misuse of drugs legislation and 4 detections of drugs for simple possession. Numerous demands were made for production of documents and fixed charge notices were issued.
Waterford's newest restaurant, the Beach House, opens its doors today. Tramore native Peter Hogan and his wife are opening their restaurant in the former Pine Rooms on Turkey Road. Initially, Beach House will open only for lunch Wednesday to Sunday, and by May they expect to be adding a weekend dinner service. Peter says the building is a unique space which they hope to utilise fully.
We're just going to try and make use of the whole house, and it will be a bit of a project, but we have 3 floors here. We have rooms above, we have the main floor that people are familiar with where you have the dining room here, and then we have a lovely space downstairs which we're really looking forward to using as well, which is the cellar or lower ground floor and basement, which opens out onto a lovely garden. Throughout the course of the year, we're hopefully people will be coming into the building and be able to come in and have a drink at the bar, go downstairs and enjoy a meal, and perhaps on the first floor there's a nice big room as well that people could use for special events.
And Meze, the Middle Eastern deli in Tramore, which opened 10 months ago, has been awarded Shop of the Year Newcomer Award by the Guild of Fine Food. The judges said they love the warmth and passion of the owners, as well as the diversity and quality of their offering. Owners Nicola and Veer says this is a great acknowledgement for the business that they've built and that all they've put into it.
WLR Sport.
With thanks to the Waterford Viking Marathon. Register now at waterfordvikingmarathon.com.
Starting with racing, where Ireland's big hope for the feature race on day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival has been withdrawn. Chasson Poursois misses the Queen Mother Champion Chase due to a vet certificate. From the track, Mike Vince reports.
Chasson Poursois was pulled out just after 11 o'clock this morning on veterinary grounds and robs day 2 of one of the big races of the week. David Assoy will now be long odds on to win the Queen Mother Champion Chase on a day when Tiger Roll's final appearance before he tries for his 3rd successive Grand National at Aintree in the first week in April will be another highlight. Conditions are soft and it's a dry day. Mike Vince, Cheltenham.
Fresh from his 2 Grade 1 victories on day 1, Waterford trainer Henry de Bromhead relies on Manella Indo in the RSA Novices Chase, while Dungarvan trainer John Quealy saddles Sacho Vanzetti for owner Michael Ryan in the penultimate juvenile hurdle. In soccer, Waterford FC midfielders says they showed great character to beat Derry City last weekend. They beat the Candy Stripes 2-1 thanks to a 94th minute stunner from Shane Griffin. This Friday the Blues are away to Shelburne. Ali Coote says it was a fantastic win against Derry.
2 special goals from the boys. I think it just shows that we're a young group, but we can produce when we've got quality. So their goal's debatable. I think 9 times out of 10 the ref would blow up with a quick free kick. Don't think we were set. I don't think he gave us enough time to get set. But I thought the boys reacted really well and showed great character, like you said, to come back and win the game.
Jurgen Klopp will hope to continue his impressive record of never losing a Champions League match at Anfield later. His side need to overturn a 1-0 deficit against Atletico Madrid if they're to keep the defence of their title alive and qualify for the quarter-finals. Klopp says the home supporters could prove to be a big advantage.
Our crowd will be an advantage. That they don't have their crowd will be another advantage. Not a lot of them played before in a stadium like Anfield, in an atmosphere like we can create, and that's something what we want to use, and hopefully we can.
While Borussia Dortmund take a 2-1 lead into the second leg of their tie against Paris Saint-Germain, the match in the French capital will be played behind closed doors due to coronavirus. Sports news on WLR is thanks to Waterford Viking